Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. First and foremost, I would like to welcome Fadil Ustaz Dr. Muhammad Mustafa Mahmud, the speaker this morning, and of course the participant for the 9th Islamic Practices and Development Training. They call it IPDT 2022. And we are honored and privileged to have the speaker today, that is Dr. Muhammad Mahmud, to speak with us on the topic of leadership. So before we do that, I would like to speak to you a little bit about the programs that we have. That is the 9th Islamic Practices and Development Training, the IPDT 2022. It is especially programs designed for the leaders who are coming from Malaysia. They are representing people from the various sectors: education, management, governments, the semi-government, and so on and so forth. So they are here actually to listen to your wisdom, and these programs consist of one is of course the primary objective for the visit for the programs is for the Umrah here in Madinah, and also after that in Mecca. And after that, actually at the same time, we also have this visit around here in Madinah and later on in Mecca. The engagement with the private and also the government sectors, including our consulate in Jeddah, in Riyadh, yeah, our consulate there. And at the same time, we also have the they call it field visit, the site visit, engagement with the industries and entrepreneurs. For example, after this at 4 p.m. today, we are going to visit Al-Bayt around here. I think it's not far from here, right? So among these are among the activities that we're going to have here. So we are honored to have you as our first speaker actually this morning. So before we do that, let me introduce Al-Fadil Dr. Muhammad Mustafa Mahmud. He's actually well known as the 3M, because his name starts with the M, Mustafa Muhammad Mustafa Mahmud. If you look at the short biography of his, you can see that he is known to his wide network of business connection, and the Miles, actually, the institute that he is founded. Yes, okay. The institute, Madinah Institute for Leadership and Entrepreneurship, and I find it very active institute who is organizing leadership and management programs, inviting speakers from all over the world to be speaking on this. And Miles, the institute that he is leading, is the vice president also for the Sovila Group, one of the Mile founding organization. He has a master's in business administration, Mansurah University in Egypt, I think. In Egypt, yeah, in Mansurah University, and PhD in decision sciences, regional sciences and transportation sciences, University of Pennsylvania, United States. I see. So Dr. 3M also has a present and excellent reputation in academic as well as the executive leadership circles. His past roles include advisor to the mayor of the city of Jeddah.
Where did you get this from? Intelligence.
Yeah.
Of course, you're well known. So, the professor of management sciences at Kuwait University, mashallah, it's very great achievement, and advisor to the president of Arab Engineering and Management Consultant. It's actually in your website.
I forgot.
Somebody put it there. And there is people who says here the Mile training program managers, the 3M always strive for the best and doesn't settle for the just good. Mashallah. And this is the Prophet Sayyid Khan in this one, yes. He's a great speaker and inspiration and a wealth of knowledge and fantastic mentor. And before I go to, allow him to speak, I also would like to introduce the organization that he is leading. The organization that he is leading is a very, very well-known and also great institute, Madinah Institute for Leadership, just in case you want to know more about this, and entrepreneurship, or the short form ISMAIL, M-I-L-E, is a pioneer of executive education based in Madinah, here in Saudi Arabia. It specializes in training, coaching, providing consulting services to address the leadership deficit, particularly in Middle East and the rest of the Muslim world in general. It's a very excellent program. Miles also offers many interesting programs, such as the Program for Advanced Leadership and Management, or short form as PALM, High Performance Healthcare Organization, High Performance Telecom, High Performance Governance for senior executive to further develop their leadership skill. Our unique program also offers the latest management tools and concept aiming at transforming senior executive into the true leaders. And Miles also organized a live webinar in association with renowned subject expert, academic thought leader, CEOs, and professional consultant from renowned institute like Harvard Business School, Stanford University, Carnegie Mellon University, McKinsey & Co., IBM, Accenture Management Consulting, KPI Institute Australia, Saudi Ministry of Healthcare, Saudi Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and so on. I mean, they have very long list of that. So it is a great honor for me, Al-Fadil Ustaz Dr. Muhammad Mustafa, to have you here this morning, and we are looking forward to learn wisdom from you. Please, Al-Fadil.
Jazakumullah khair. Terima kasih. And this way. You sure? Not this way. This better?
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Terima kasih, for your kind invitation and your kind introduction, and for all the arrangements that Dr. Noor was doing for 2 months now. She has been communicating with me.
Thank you.
And I'm very glad to be here with you. Today is a very blessed day. It's a Friday. It's Eid. Our Eid, it's weekly Eid, is Friday. And we are next door to the true leaders of the whole mankind. The true leader is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are very blessed to be here. And next to him in the graveyard were all the Sahaba and the wives of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are buried. This is a great opportunity for us to be away from our daily work and come here for a spiritual charging, inshallah, ourselves. And when we speak about leadership, alhamdulillah, we established MILE about 13 years ago, and people used to send all their top executives to Harvard, Wharton, Oxford, so they get this top quality executive education program. But in the same time, they are taking this knowledge, but in a corrupt environment. The social activities, the whole environment is not really, so they get spoiled spiritually and they get developed mentally. So we decided to establish Madinah Institute for Leadership to be teaching people. We bring them the top minds of the world and to bring them here. And by the way, sometimes we sneak them into the masjid after giving them training on how to pray, so people will recognize that they are not Muslims. And some of them converted to Islam. So instead of us going all the way to America and become just a student to them, they become here and they become a student to us, asking us, teach us, more about Islam, and they learn about Islam. So alhamdulillah, it was double benefits, that we get their knowledge and we give them hidayat in the same time. In fact, one time I was visiting Boston in New York, in Massachusetts, in the States, and I called one of the professors in Harvard Business School, and I told him if I have a few minutes, I will drop by to shake hands with him, and he was one of the speakers we invite here. The only photo, he has 2 photos in his bookshelf. One photo for him and his wife and the children, family photo. The other photo is the photo he took with us in front of the Masjid al-Nabawi. Because we give it to him with the thank you certificates in a way that it can be easily displayed. And we tell them this, when we give them the certificates, it has 2 sides. One had the group photo with all the group and the green dome at the back, and the other side it has the certificates. So we teach him, you know, we say, when you go back, put it in your shelf this way, it will stand. Huh? So he doesn't fold it and hide it in his you know, drawer. So when I went to his office, I found this. So I told him, you have our photo there. He said, this is the only photo from outside America that I put on my shelf. And anybody who come to visit me in my office, they always asking me, what is this? And we told them that under this dome is the leader of the whole mankind, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And the next day he went, after he finished his teaching here, when he go back, he tell the student, guess where I was yesterday? Usually American professor, they go in a small trips, you know, to give lectures to Japan, Germany, Europe, but very rarely you'll find one coming to Medina with all of this Islamic phobia about you know, about the Muslims. So you go to the headquarters of Islam, you know, with all of this, you know, mindset that they have about the Muslims. So when he come here and he find the hospitality and how we, you know, treated him and how kind, we start with his journey from the minute he landed in the airport. We don't send the driver to him. We send a scholar. We had a group from South African businessmen who lives in Medina. They left their business in South Africa. They love Medina. They established here. So they volunteered with me and mine. I asked them to go to the airport to pick them. So when he rides in the car, he sees somebody who's fluent in English, very well educated, has good Islamic knowledge. They start to bond with him. At night after the lecture, he go to his home. So we start gradually to, you know, change the mindset of these people about Islam. So when they go back to their countries, they are very influential people. They start to talk very positively about us, and they will always remember the experience of visiting Medina because we make, you know, very touch their hearts during this visit. One of the things we do, as a thank you to them at the end of their lecture, every day we have one professor from one of the top universities teaching one subject. Every day for 2 weeks. So we have 12 professors from Oxford, Harvard, MIT, you know, all of the top schools. They come and teach every day one subject. At the end of each day, we make a big cake for him as a celebration surprise with his photo in it. Some of them, they cry with tears. And they say, even my wife in my birthday party never thought of putting my photo in a cake. And they take a picture. So with these little touches, they go back and we have a change in their mindset. So Mile is not about bringing knowledge from the outside to us. It's also more about sending messages to these people. And we focus in Mile in 4 domains. You know, Stephen Covey in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. How many one read this book? 1 and a half? One. And one was white. This is the must-read book after Quran and the Hadith. I advise you. This was compulsory course for all Savola employees. Savola has more than 24,000 employees in 16 Muslim countries, from Casablanca to Kazakhstan, from Kaza to Kaza. And I was the vice president of Savola Group. It's a food producing company. And studying the 7 habits of highly effective people is a must. Nobody can be promoted. It changes your life. It has 7 habits. Habits number 7, it's called sharpen the saw. Like you are here now, you are not working. When you are back home, you go every day to the office. But here you are not doing any work. So what are you doing? You are improving yourself, taking time off from work, spiritual development. But you are very smart. All of the Malaysian people who come here and all the other Muslims who come here, they come only for spiritual purpose. So they will go back with their spiritual soul sharpened. But this is not enough. You are smart because you added this program of, you know, talks and guest speakers. So it's not only spiritual, it's mental at the same time. Some of the people, I hear this twice today, we are here, you know, basically for Umrah. This is our niyyah. Please don't be, you know, worried about your Umrah. Niyyah will be spoiled because you did something else. The Sahaba, they had this feeling. Because today you bring the cash with you when you come to Saudi Arabia to buy any goods. At the old times, they didn't have cash. So what they bring goods. Egyptian bring cotton products, Iranian silk product, Indian spices. And what they do, they meet outside of the masjid in Mecca. There were markets. In economy, they call this barter. Barter means exchanging goods, because there was no currency. So people go to the market, trade their goods, and they go back to their homes with new goods from other countries. So some people felt that this might spoil our Umrah and Niyat for Hajj, because we do business in the same time. Allah in the Holy Quran said to them clearly, you shouldn't feel worry about this. Don't feel any guilty about this. And he said in the Quran, وَلْيَشْهَدُوا مَنَافِعَ لَهُمْ. During the Hajj and the Umrah, you should gain some benefits. منافع. منافع mean benefits. لا جناح عليهم. Don't be worried. You should feel comfortable about this. In fact, this is encouraged. We shouldn't come here. When you go here, all of the Bengali together, all of the Indian together, the Malaysian together, you don't get to know any new people. So let me go back again to the habit number 7. In Maya, we believe, like Stephen Covey have showed us in habit number 7, anybody who would like to develop himself, he has to focus in 4 domains. Developing 2 or 3 domains is not enough. It's like a car, has 4 wheels. If you have one of the wheels bunched, would you say that I have 75% of my capacity? A car missing 1 tire, does it have 75% of the capacity? Can the taxi driver with a car with a missing tire make 75% of the income? He will make 0 of the income. Why? Because you need 4 of them. Stephen Covey says, in order for you to develop as a leader, you need to focus in 4 domains. Mental development, number 1. Number 2 is emotional social development. Number 3 is spiritual development. And number 5 is physical development. I will say them again. I don't know in what order I have said them. So number 1 is mental. Mental means new knowledge, speakers and topics, in management, leadership, strategy, decision making, and so on. But this is not enough. Maybe the most corrupt people in the world are Harvard MBA graduates. If you read, they are very smart, but they use their smart knowledge, for their own benefit. So mental development. Number 2 is spiritual. Let us go for second, spiritual development. Number 3 is emotional social. Mean building good relation with other people and gaining their trust. If you are a leader who's very smart, with 2 MBAs, and you are a very pious person, spiritual, but people don't like you, they cannot work with you, you are not a team leader, they don't trust you, you cannot get anywhere. So if you're missing this, the other has no value. And the last one is physical. Physical means taking care of your health. You sleep well, you eat well, you exercise. This is very important, because if you are very smart, very pious and spiritual, people like you, but you are very sick all the time. You have high tension, you have disc, you have hemorrhoids, you have this and that, And people, you have no value, because you all the time are feeling pain and you cannot contribute to the society. So we need to focus in all of this for them. So this is what we did in Maya. We designed our program to be an immersive experience, where people every minute for 2 weeks, from early morning after Fajr until they go to bed at 11 p.m. Every day we have every minute engineered that we contribute to these 4 domains. Even the time they go to the masjid to pray Zuhr and Asr, we developed something called Sohbah. So you don't go by yourself. You are Malaysian, there's other participants from Nigeria, from Holland, from you have to call it Sohbah. You go together with somebody that you don't know. You walk together to the masjid, you come back together from the masjid. And this will be your Sohbah for Zuhr prayer in the first day of the program. In Asr prayer, pick another Sohbah. So what this Sohbah means, accompanyship, somebody accompanying you. When you go to the masjid, you tell him about the challenge that you are facing in your life. And you get from him a free advice. In the trip back, you reverse the road. He tell you about the challenge and you give him advice. So you are taking free consulting from people who are very experienced. And when you walk out of the masjid, the green dome will be at the back, so you take a selfie and put it in the WhatsApp group. So now you bonded socially. You walk to the masjid. Walking is physical. You burn calories. You walk to the masjid. In each step, Prophet Muhammad said, you will get a reward. One sin will be wiped out, and your rank in paradise will be elevated by one rank. So spiritual development. You get free advice, mental development. You get to reveal your special challenges to somebody else. So this is emotional and the photo. So this emotional bonding. So just the 20 minutes going to the masjid, we engineer them in a way that it is a mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical development. Even we calculate for them how many calories they will burn if they go to the masjid 5 times a day for 2 weeks. Because we count how many steps with Google, divided by 80 centimeters and so on. This happened in all the moments of the program. We engineer them. When it's lunchtime, we don't tell people, now lunchtime, lunch is there, have lunch, be back at 2 o'clock. We don't do this. The round tables at the lunch, every day, there is a theme for discussion. We don't let people just gossip about anything. Today, in all tables, we'll choose you as a moderator of this table, moderator of this table. During your lunch, everybody share his experience about a big challenge that he have faced in his life and how he managed to tackle this challenge. Or speak about the aspiration, what you would like to achieve, what's your legacy that you would like to achieve. So people, when they start to share these experiences, they elevate their aspiration level. I was hoping in my life that I will sponsor 2 or 3 orphans because it's very nice. But when we sit in the table, somebody else said, I'm planning to build the chain of orphanage in many countries. So all of a sudden I realized that my aspiration was a little bit compared to him. So what I start to do, start to stretch. And if we document our aspiration in a piece of paper and check on each other after 2 or 3 years. Muhammad, you remember we met in Medina in that day and we had lunch and everybody shared his plan and aspiration, and you said you will do this. Are you on your way to achieve this or not yet? So checking on each other, not just talk about it and go. So I engineered, alhamdulillah, I visited the top executive education programs. There is a ranking of the top executive education program published every year by FT.com, financialtimes.com. So I picked the top 9 and I visited them, spent 2 or 3 days in each of these universities. And I took some of the experiences and the knowledge, and based on this, we engineered this program. Alhamdulillah, we are lucky, we had many Malaysians. I was telling Professor Noor, Dr. Noor, that I met all the prime ministers of Malaysia. Mahathir, Najib, Badawi, and Juma, what's his name? The last one? Anwar what? Anwar Ibrahim. I had breakfast with him about 9 years ago in his home. Alhamdulillah. So, and we have many participants from Telecom Malaysia, from Petronas, from many people come from Bintulu Port Authority.
Bintulu Port.
Yes.
Oh, one of our
I went to Bintulu, Kiri, Miri, and Kuching. Kuching mean cat, right? Alhamdulillah. So, but let us, this is a little bit about mine and the leadership development program. I'm sorry, I can see all the faces except your face. No, you. No, the one next to you. So I feel not comfortable. Yes, I like to see you. And now you can move a little bit. No, she, yes. Yes, thank you. I like to have eye contact. And you also, you don't have eye contact. Little bit to the left. That's why we made this round table. In our programs also on mine, you don't sit in the same table every day with the same people. Every day you have to exchange seats. So you get to know more people. Today, in fact, I would like to speak about, more higher level of leadership. Not how to be a leader of our company or our faculty or our department, but how we should be the leaders of the whole world. I mean, if we just think about the West to be a leader of your family, of your company, of your, this is very myopic way of looking at leadership. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was not thinking of being the leader of his tribe. In fact, they offered him this. When he started the da'wah, they told him, if you are doing this to be our leader, we will make you leader tomorrow. We'll just appoint you the leader of Quraysh. If this is about money, we will gather money, give it to you, you'll be the richest. And we will end the story and stop. If you are making Islam, da'wah, Islam for this purpose, so we will give you the final ambition from the beginning, and you just stop whatever you are doing. And if you are doing this to get married, we will give you the most beautiful ladies, and you will get married to them, and that's it. But he told them, I have not been sent for this. ما أرسلني الله لهذا ما بعثني الله لهذا. I have not been sent to this. I have been sent to you in order to warn you. To warn you. My dear respected brother, if I ask you today why you are wearing this coffee, why? Because it's sunnah, right? When you eat with your right hand. Why you eat with your right hand? It's a sunnah, right? When you go to the toilet, you step in, you step with which foot? Left. Why you do this? Sunnah. Keep asking people why you are doing miswak. You say this is sunnah. All of these things you are doing as a sunnah. But the most important sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his fikr, his knowledge, his worry, his concern, his job. It's not enough to imitate Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the way he sleep and eat, and don't imitate him in his thinking, in his worry, in his mission, in his job description. You should get the job description of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and just ask yourself, how much of his job description am I doing in my life? Because unless you follow the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you will not get hidayah. The best gift that you need in this life, and you need it before you die, is hidayah. And that's why hidayah means guidance. And that's why in Surah Fatiha, every day when we recite Surah Fatiha in the prayers, we all ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. There is only one dua in Surah Al-Fatiha. Oh Allah, guide us. Ya Allah, I need your hidayah. This is the only dua. Because if Allah leave this blank and say everybody ask for whatever he wants, everybody will ask for promotion, for degree, to get married, have children, but he know what's better for you. Hidayah. Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim. The best gift is hidayah. You cannot get hidayah without following the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah said in the Holy Quran, وَإِن تُطِيعُوهُ تَهْتَدُوا. You need hidayah. If you follow him, you will be guided. You need guidance, you ask for it in Surah Al-Fatiha. But to get it, there is a price for it. There is a difference between asking and getting. You go to any shop downstairs now and ask him, can I have 1 kilo of this? Can I have this? You are asking, but he will never give it to you unless you pay what? The price, right? So you have to pay the price. What is the price of hidayah? Allah said in the Holy Quran, وَإِن تُطِيعُوهُ تَهْتَدُوا. Obedience, following the footsteps of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, will give you hidayah. That's why we have this coffee, and that's why we have this miswak. But this is not the most genuine, important practice of Prophet that you need to imitate him. The most important thing is what? Is his fikr, what he was thinking about, what he was worried about, what was his desire, what was his ambition. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went before Quran was revealed to him, every Ramadan he used to go to Ghar Hira, the cave of Hira in Mecca. And one time, as you know, Angel Jibreel came to him and he hugged him. If you are sitting in your home and one cockroach or one rat, mouse, ran in your house, you know what you would do? You would jump and scream, and because you didn't expect this. But he's sitting in the cave, an angel come and hug him. He said, "Iqra ma ana biqari," and he was sweating, shivering. Iqra, read, Iqra. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. So what did he do when he went back to Sayyidah Khadija? He was shivering. He said what? What did he say to Sayyidah Khadija? Zammiluni dathiruni. Zammiluni mean wrap me with the clothes, wrap me. Like he's wrapped now, it's wrap me, Zammiluni. Dathiruni mean he lay in the bed and they cover him with the bed cover. He was shivering. Zammiluni Dathiruni, staying in the bed, covered with clothes. What was the first revelation that came after Iqra and this incident when he went back home? What was the first revelation that came after this? After this surah? Anybody know? No? No, he said Zammiluni Dathiruni. So the surah that came after this has to do with the two words that he said. Yes. He said Zammiluni, mean cover me. Allah called him Ya ayyuha al-muzammil. Muzammil come from Zammiluni, mean the one who's wrapping himself in the cloth. Ya ayyuha al-muzammil. Dathiruni, he said Dathiruni, mean cover me. Allah told him, Ya ayyuha al-muddathir, oh you muddathir. Muddathir means the person who cover himself in the clothes. So what Allah wants from him? Ya ayyuha al-muzammil what? Ya ayyuha al-muzammil, what the surah says? Kum fa'anzir. Wala kum al-layla illa qalilan. Ya ayyuha al-muzammil, kum al-layla illa qalilan. Ya ayyuha al-muddathir, kum fa'anzir. Kum, what kum says? Allah is addressing him. So first Quran, Iqra. After Iqra, he go back to the bed. This Quran is not to stay at home. This Quran was not given to you to stay in the bed. No. Raise, get up. Muzammil, get up. Muddathir, get up. Do what? In one of them, he said, Qum al-layl. Spend the night in night prayer. Pray in front of Allah at night. Cry in front of Allah at night to guide the humanity. And the other one, Qum fa'anzir. Raise, get up and go outside and warn the people. وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ. Glorify Allah in the hearts of people. People, they are not aware of Allah, the blessings of Allah. They are oblivious. They don't recognize the greatness of Allah. They recognize the greatness of mobile, homes, position. The greatness of Allah is not in their hearts. So the role of the Prophet was to elevate the greatness of Allah in the hearts of the people. First one, Qum al-layl, raise at night to pray. Second one, raise during the day to warn and make da'wah, propagate the word of Islam. Whatever I have given to you, you need to spread it. So this is the first job description of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He went to home to be Muddassir and Muzammil, and Allah is telling him, leave your bed and get up. You have two efforts. Effort at night with Allah, asking him to guide the humanity. Effort during the day with the people, to bring them towards Allah. You are reconciling between Allah and His creation. At night you invite Allah to the humanity to shower His mercy to them, on them. And during the day you're inviting people toward their Lord, their Creator, reminding them that this life is short, and after this life they will go back again and die and meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after this life. So my dear respected brother, this is the first job description of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What did he say to Khadija? He folded his bed. He said, Ya Khadija, la rahata ba'da al-yawm. After today there is no rest. He didn't rest at all. For 23 years, 13 years in Mecca, 10 years in Medina, no rest. Come, raise, move. Abu Hala is one of the companions of the Prophet. After the Prophet passed away, died, Abu Hala was still alive. So the followers, the second generation of Muslim who didn't see Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they asked Abu Hala to describe to them how the Prophet looked like, his behavior, how he looked. So you know what how Abu Hala described Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This is what you need to take note of and start to think how much of this description is in my life. If we are a true followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's not about the kufi and how you eat. It's about his work, his concern, his behavior. Abu Hala said, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم دائم الفكرة. Always thinking, his mind, always thinking, planning. this tribe, how can we bring Islam to them? This man, how can I bring Islam? Always worried about the whole humanity. دائم الفكرة, متواصل الأحزان. He has continuous grief, pain in his heart. متواصل الأحزان. ليس له راحة. Never rested. Never settled down and say, now, alhamdulillah, I have my home, little big garden, I bring little chickens here, and they have a rambutan tree, alhamdulillah. Huh? He didn't settle like this and say, now I'm comfortable, let me enjoy my life. ليس له راحة. Never rested. لا يرى إلا غاديا أو رائحة. We only saw the Prophet arriving or departing. He's arriving from a mission or he's departing from a mission. Now, how much of this is in our life? How much? How much concern we have for the humanity? Yesterday was Thursday. Many of the Malaysian I know, they read Surah Yasin. In Surah Yasin, what does it say in the end? فَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ قَوْلُهُمْ إِنَّا نَعْلَمُ مَا يُسِرُّونَ وَمَا يُعْلِنُونَ. Right? This is in Surah Yasin, isn't it? Huh? فَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ قَوْلُهُمْ إِنَّا نَعْلَمُ. What does it mean? It describes the behavior and the feeling of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ mean don't be sorrow, have sorrow and the grief and the pain in your heart because of the way people have reacted to your message. It means that the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to have grief in his heart. In another surah, Allah says, إِنَّا نَعْلَمُ أَنَّهُ لَيَحْزُنُكَ الَّذِي يَقُولُ Surah Al-An'am. We know that your heart is filled with sorrow and grief because of what they are saying to you. So his heart was filled with sorrow. Sorrow for what? Because he missed a meal or a party, somebody did not invite him for a party. Oh, I'm very upset because, they invite everybody but not me, or my mobile is not the latest version. He was not upset about dunya at all. He was upset about the rejection of the people. Today is Jum'ah. We read what surah we read? Kahf. What do we read in Surah Al-Kahf? فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَى أَثَارِهِمْ إِن لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. We read this every Friday. You know what باخع mean? Allah telling Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you are committing باخع to yourself, following their rejection. So the Prophet meet the kafir and he invite him to Islam, but they reject and they turn their back and they walk. And the Prophet look at them when they walk away with sorrow, because he was hoping that when he preached to them they will accept, but they turn away and they walk. So the Prophet look at their footsteps of the person who have left turned away from him, and at the footsteps of the people who turns away from him, what does he do to himself? Bakha, bakha, bakha. What's bakha in Arabic? Mean slaughter yourself out of pain and sorrow. Slaughter yourself. Even bakha does not exactly mean slaughter. Slaughtering in Islam, traditional slaughter, if you have a lamb, it's enough to cut the blood veins. Because if the blood goes out, there is a heart failure, no blood to the body, and then the animal dies. But if the butcher is so aggressive or so cruel, he will not only cut the blood vein, he will cut the throat for the air and the food, the channels, but he will go further to this and he will cut the caudal nerve. You know what's a caudal nerve? It's in the backbone. The nerve inside the backbone in Arabic language is called the bukha. Spinal cord. And if the butcher cut the spinal cord, this is not acceptable, because the animal will paralyze because you cut the nerve. So in Arabic language, a person who cut his animal, not only the blood or the throat, but he go to the spinal nerve, only then we call that this butcher has bakha'a, his animal, which is the most cruel way of killing an animal. It's not acceptable even to eat this. So the pain that the Prophet has that he slaughtered himself all the way to the what? The caudal nerve, spinal cord. All the way to the spinal cord. So the Prophet did this to himself. باخر. Twice in Quran, Allah described the Prophet, فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ. You almost slaughtered yourself all the way to the spinal cord. How much of this pain that the Prophet used to have do we have in our life now? How much upset are you that only 25% of the population on earth are Muslims? And 75% of the population are atheists, Buddhists, they worship monkeys. I went to in the mountain Kuala Lumpur, the cave at the top. Huh? Huh? Yeah, they worship monkeys. They worship cows. And we watch this in National Geographic and we look at it as, you know, it's a culture. Oh, very interesting. Did you see this movie about Africa? Do you believe they do this and they do that? We look at this and we don't know that these people, when they die, they will go to the hellfire. And you are responsible for them. You, not anybody else. You are responsible. Because there is no more other prophets. The Prophet Muhammad is Khatam al-Nabiyyin, the seal of all prophets. So anybody expecting another prophet to come, is mistaken. There is no more other prophets to come. So where is the responsibility now? The responsibility come to us. You see in the Holy Quran, Allah revealed the Quran to the Prophet, and he asked the Prophet to convey whatever guidance and Quran that revealed to him, to convey it to the rest of the humanity. What is the Arabic word that Allah used to ask the Prophet to convey the message to the rest of the humanity? It's 3 letters in Arabic language. بلغ ب لام غين. يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك. O Messenger of Allah, convey what I have revealed to you. Convey. بلغ. So the Prophet has the responsibility of conveying Islam to who? To everybody in his time and all times, all geography and all times, all places. The Prophet was not responsible to convey Da'wah and Islam only to his people. Prophet Musa only was sent to his people. Prophet Ibrahim was sent to his people. Jesus Christ was sent to his people. Read in the beginning of Surah Ibrahim, كتاب أنزلناه إليك لتخرج الناس من الظلمات إلى النور. We have Prophet Muhammad is different. We have given you Quran to bring mankind from darkness to light. How can he be responsible? If I tell you now, go back to Kuala Lumpur and you are in, what's the name of the area where you're from? It's called Shah Alam. I told you, you are responsible for all the non-Muslims in Shah Alam. Me? All the Muslims in Shah Alam? No, there are so many, I cannot go to them, there are so many. Too much for me, too much for anybody. So what about all the people in Kuala Lumpur? This is even unthinkable. If I told you I are responsible for all Malaysians, no way. But if I told you you are responsible for all people on earth, not today, but until the day of judgment. This was the scope of the job of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لِتُخْرِجَ النَّاسِ. In the same surah, Surah Ibrahim, وَلَقَدْ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى مُوسَىٰ أَنْ أَخْرِجْ قَوْمَكَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. We have revealed to Moses, bring your tribe, your people only, from darkness to light. But Prophet Muhammad to bring what? Whole humanity. How can he do this? And Allah told him, بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ. You have to convey the message that I have given to you. You have to convey this message. So he could not. In fact, during the life of Prophet Muhammad, when he was a prophet, 23 years, he did not travel outside of Saudi Arabia, of the Arabian Peninsula. He did not travel. So how Allah make him responsible for spreading deen to Africa, Asia, Europe, America? And he didn't travel out. If this means that he didn't do his job, but he didn't come out of his country at all. And Allah told him, your responsibility to bring humanity from darkness to light. Think about this. How the Prophet can claim in front of Allah that I have done what you have ordered me to bring hidayah to the whole humanity, even though he did not leave Mecca and Medina and the surrounding cities. Think about this. I want you to think. What did he do? Yes, you are very close. What else?
He made a group of companions.
Yes.
All over the world. They were.
Right, exactly. In Hajjat al-Wada, the farewell ceremony in the last Hajj of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about 40,000 people attended this Hajj. You know, almost he gathered all of them. You remember what are the three Arabic letters, one word with three Arabic letters that Allah used to make him responsible for spreading deen? What was the word in Arabic? I just said this. Balligh. Mean, O Prophet of Allah, convey. Balligh, balligh. Order to the Prophet. Convey what I have given you to the whole humanity. Prophet Muhammad conveyed to the rest of the humanity. He couldn't do this. So what did he do? He gathered all the Sahaba in Hajjat al-Wada. And he told them, what he told them? He said, Allah will ask you in the day of judgment, have I conveyed the message to you or not? What you would say? He asked the Sahaba this. They say, we will be your witness now that you have conveyed the full message. You did not hide anything with the Quran. You showed us everything. So he made them testify that he has conveyed the message to them. When they said that the message was revealed from Prophet Muhammad to the Sahaba, then he made them responsible. He said, now, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي. What بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي mean? Now you have to convey what I have conveyed to you to other people. He told them this. بَلِّغُوا, convey, عَنِّي, on my behalf. But suppose I don't have much knowledge of deen. He said, وَلَوْ آيَةً. Even if all what you know is one verse of Quran. So the minimum requirement to be promoted as a da'i is to have only one verse of Quran. If you don't have one verse, you are not qualified. But we, mashallah, we all how many ayah we know, we read Quran. Say, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي, convey on our behalf. You saw me in Mecca, but there is the rest of humanity, Malaysian, Brunei, Bangladesh, Russia, China. They are not here today. First he said, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي, convey on my behalf. And what else he said? بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي يَرْحَمُكُمُ اللَّهِ, convey on my behalf, may Allah have mercy on you. And then he said, فَلْيُبَلِّغِ الْحَاضِرْ مِنْكُمُ الْغَائِبِ. Three statements he said that all of them start with the word بَلِّغ. فَلْيُبَلِّغِ الْحَاضِرْ مِنْكُمْ الْغَائِبِ. Whoever is present today should convey the message to who is not present today. And then he said very strange things. He said, even, look at this, even if you don't understand what I said, just memorize it as is and pass it. Maybe the person that you will pass it to him, he will understand it better than you. Can you imagine this? So you cannot say what? You cannot say I don't have enough knowledge, because he say minimum requirement is one ayah. You cannot say but I don't fully understand, even if you don't understand. The Prophet say, فَلَرُبَّ مُبَلَّغٍ أَوْ عَامٍ سَامَعٍ. Maybe the second person that will hear from you will understand more than you. You listen to me, you will just take it, you don't understand really what does it mean. You go and tell other people, the Prophet said this, and they will say, oh Allah, he said this, it's amazing. So, they understood it better than you. So my dear respected brother, the Sahaba spread all over the world. That's why you are Muslims in Malaysia. If the Sahaba said, oh, Mecca and Medina, the most beloved and the blessed places, one prayer here is worth 10,000 in Mecca, 1,000 in Medina, they would not leave Mecca and Medina, right? You will not never be a Muslims in China and in Russia, right? Why the Sahaba who know more better than us that living in Mecca and Medina is more rewarding, they left Mecca and Medina and their graves are in Egypt, in Jordan, and in India, and in Turkey. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari, the first house when the Prophet arrived in Medina, where did he stay? Who hosted him? Abu Ayyub al-Ansari. The house of Abu Ayyub al-Ansari is in Medina. Where is the grave of Abu Ayyub al-Ansari? in Istanbul. You go and visit him. They call it what? I forgot. The Sultan Masjid, they call it, or something like that. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari. Why Abu Ayyub al-Ansari? By the way, Abu Ayyub, when he went to Turkey for the battle, he was very sick. And he was more than 80 years old. And when he got sick in the way, he told his children, if I die, don't bury me in the point where I died, in this place where I died. Just carry my body while I am dead and move forward with it. So in the day of judgment, I will say to Allah, I went in the path of Allah, I went in jihad, both life and death. We are not moving life. He wants to move while he's dead. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari. Only because the Sahaba understood this responsibility, they became aware that this is now the burden, the responsibility of conveying the message has been conveyed to them. When he said to the Sahaba, Ballighu, convey on my behalf, Allah asked me to balligh, I could not do this for the whole humanity. Now I am making you delegation of authority. I am giving you the responsibility. All the other religions, the prophets asked their companion to make ibadah, only worship, prayer, fasting. The only prophet he asked his companion not only to make ibadah and to make da'wah, only religion is the religion of Islam. In fact, Allah told him, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. Prophet of Allah announced to people that you are responsible to make da'wah and listen to this, and whoever follows me. So it's not only the responsibility of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to make da'wah. It's the responsibility of what? Anybody who claim to be the follower of the Prophet, he is responsible to convey the religion. Otherwise, you are following somebody else. So when you go back to Malaysia, in Arabic we say, don't go back with hadaya only, go back with hidayah as well. What's the difference between hadaya and hidayah? Hadaya is hadiyah. Oh, mom, welcome back. Salamat, Adatan. What did you bring me from Madinah?
Yeah.
Oh, you open your bag. Oh, this is very nice. This is hadaya. But do this. You have to give gifts, because gifts create love, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But the most important, before you open the bag, before you start to distract them to the materialistic things, start to do what? Tell them about what is our role in humanity, how we are the delegates of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are the ambassador. You know, the ambassador of Malaysia here is very proud. I am the ambassador, representative of Malaysia. Nobody can speak on behalf of my country except me. My country trusted me to be the spokesman for the country. We are very proud that your country, you can speak of your country. You are ambassador of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the ambassador of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is Rasulullah, and you are the follower of Rasulullah, conveying the same message. He gave you this honor, so don't forget it. When you go back to Malaysia, this is what we need to talk to the people. Tell them we are responsible. We don't have much of the qualities of the Prophet. We look after all the Sunnah, but the real Sunnah of the Prophet is his worry and his concern for the Ummah. So this is the niyyah that you need to go back with. Not just made Umrah, took photos, brought some dates and some gifts. Yeah, this is all material will be consumed. But you go with a new mindset that now I'm responsible for the whole human. What should I do in my area? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, there are 3 levels of exchanging evil. Under the 3rd level, the stop, number 1, number 2, number 3. Below this, there is zero iman, zero, nothing. You either be at 1, if you cannot go 2, if you cannot go 3. Below 3, there is nothing. You are disassociated from iman. There is no iman. So what's number 1? Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi, force. You go physical, you go change people. Why you are not covered? You are do this, you twist his arm. Why you are not Muslim? We cannot do this. Forcing people to do this. So say, oh, I am sorry, I cannot do number 1. Let's go to number 2. What's number 2? فَلْيُغَيِّرْهُ بِإِيه؟ بِلِسَانًا. Talk. Convince. We are very good. If I ask Dr. Noor to give us a lecture in accounting, she can speak for 2 hours. Oh, accounting this. Anybody, if I ask him to speak about his specialty, fluent. Anybody, even a painter, even an auto mechanic. You go to an auto mechanic, young boy, tell me how the gear work or the spare part. Say, oh yeah, MashaAllah, you are so fluent talking about your mission. Now talk about Allah to me. Talk about the importance of deen in our life. Tell me about the greatness of Allah, how this dunya is trivial. He does not talk much. Why? Because he's not trained. He's not concerned. In our profession, we are very fluent. But when we come to deen, speak about Allah, you know, we cannot talk. Why? Because we have not taken this very seriously. So, I'm sorry, I cannot talk, I am shy. So in this case, you are what? Missing number what? 2. So what's remaining now? Number 3. It's changing the evil with your what? Heart. It means 2 things. You feel very bad about it. So if somebody is doing something wrong, you cannot just go and tell him, by the way, you are not supposed to this is wrong. And then the next day you meet him, say, I already talked to him yesterday. You know, it's up to him. I cannot force him. Hi, how are you? Let's have dinner tonight. Why you do? You are making so much friendship with people who are doing something wrong that make Allah upset. This guy makes Allah upset. And you are so friendly and nice to him. You are not showing any approval. You have to do this. If you are not showing any disapproval, Allah's Prophet Muhammad said this. He said, Bani Israel were at the top. He put them at the top. وَإِنِّي فَضَّلْتُكُمْ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. And then Allah in the Quran, He said, مَلْعُونِينَ أَيْنَمَا ثَقْفُوا. They are cursed. So how the nation of Bani Israel degenerated from being the top to being the lowest. Prophet Muhammad said this. He said the first thing that they did, which started their collapse, is that people used to meet each other. When one sees somebody else doing something wrong, he tell him, you are not supposed to do this. Allah will not be happy with you if you do this. Then, listen to this. The next day he meet him. He's still doing the same bad thing, but he start to be friendly with him. And he doesn't make da'wah to him anymore. He said, only then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has started to curse them. So, number 3, by heart. And by heart is to make social pressure. Because if something is doing something wrong, and you are not that friendly with him, and the other people are not the same friendly with him, he will start to feel pressure. But otherwise he will say, it's okay, it's up to me, you know, it's fine with them, you know, he will just not do anything. So, this approval by heart. Second thing is to make dua for them. And by the way, my brother is a professor of accounting in Cairo University, rahmatullah alayhi, he passed away. He used to tell me, the grief, number 3, we are talking number 3, that you should have in your heart when you see Allah disobeyed is similar to the grief of a woman who her child has been slaughtered while she was carrying him in her lap. This is how much grief, because the orders of Allah has been violated in front of your eyes. So grief and dua. So how much dua are we making every day for the non-believers that Allah guide them to Islam? Who do we make dua to? Oh Allah, me, my son, my children, my husband, my father. That's it. You don't pray for the non-Muslims that Allah give them hidayah. Because if you don't have this grief and this dua for them, Allah, Prophet Muhammad said there's nothing below this in Iman. Nothing. So I'm just worried that we even fail to do number what? So that's why they always tell us, put the map of the world in your house. And every day you look with your children. Zimbabwe. Oh, what is this Zimbabwe? Nicaragua. How many Muslims are there? Let us pray today for the people in Nicaragua, so may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them. So you start to get your children and yourself to have a global mindset. You are not only thinking of yourself and your family, making dua for the Muslim and the human. Are you ready to do this, inshallah? How much time is remaining in 1 hour? 1 minute. Yeah. I want this 1 minute for each table that you summarize to each other the key points that you have learned today. So let us do this in table. Just join them, please. There is 2 people here in Malay language. Please, 2 of you, join them here, 2 seats. Yeah. Each table, 3 people or 4 people, and summarize to each other what are the key learnings. Everybody in turns.
Tapi kesimpulan tu bukan hanya dari segi exercise, the sunnah, but even beyond that, the moral and the spiritual. So the activity
leadership. One is spiritual, mental, second spiritual, third emotion.
Please summarize the key points. Otherwise, we just waste to listen to a lecture and what action you decide to do when you go back. What are the action items that you decide to do when you go back to Malaysia, inshallah? Summarize the key points, action items.
So deep grief. Otherwise, if you can't feel that, as if
we have to follow the how the Prophet Muhammad do to give hidayah to everybody. So there's no rest for Nabi Muhammad.
Don't be sorrow.
Yes, we were gonna record you. What did you learn, and what is the key point, and what you decided to do when you go back?
Okay. In bahasa or in English?
Bahasa.
In bahasa, okay. Saya belajar hari ini bagaimana untuk menjadi 4 domain yang kita perlu fokus untuk menjadi seorang leader atau leadership. Iaitu satu is mental, yang kedua spiritual, yang ketiga emotional and social, and yang keempat adalah physical. Kita kena sihat untuk berdakwah. Dan sebelum balik, kita ingat jangan hanya membawa hadiah tetapi membawa hidayah untuk membuat perubahan. 3 perubahan utama. Satu adalah secara fizikal, kita ubah secara fizikal. Yang kedua adalah secara verbal, bercakap. Dan yang ketiga, kalau tak mampu, dengan hati dan doa kepada Allah SWT.
This is very clear.
Anybody would like to say what action you are planning to do when you go back?
InsyaAllah saya akan share ilmu-ilmu yang belajar pada hari ini dengan keluarga terutamanya, dan juga kepada semua rakan-rakan kerja, supaya kita dapat sama-sama praktikan pemikiran dan juga Rasulullah SAW untuk kesejahteraan ummah secara umum. Bukan hanya kepada Muslim tapi juga kepada non-Muslim.
MashaAllah, jazakumullah khair. You like to say what are the key learnings and what you plan to do when you go back? You can say in bahasa.
Ya, alhamdulillah, satu perkongsian yang cukup menarik. Kita tahu bahawa kelemahan kita di sini, dan insyaAllah berdasarkan pada pengalaman sharing yang dikongsi pada hari ini, insyaAllah kita cuba melihat diri kita sendiri, apakah kelemahan-kelemahan yang ada, dan kita akan cuba perbaiki dari masa ke masa, insyaAllah.
Inshallah. You like to say something? What is the key learning and what you plan to do when you go back in Bahasa? You can see this.
Kena mulakan dakwah lah daripada sekarang. Di peringkat mana pun tak kisahlah, walaupun sekecil mana pun kita mesti mulakan dakwah untuk convey all the prophet said to us. Thank you.
You like to say something?
Okay, what we can say, leadership is about how the process of communication come and change, economic change, and then in the process of changing, okay, so we need to consideration about emotion. We need to prepare ourselves in terms of spiritual, physical, and so on. There are 4 things just now mentioned by our professor, and then the 4 things is very important to make sure that ourselves fit to carry out our jobs, because we have to facing the distortions, we have to facing of rejection, but finally everything is goes to the bring people toward Allah.
Good. Like to say something?
Overall, in terms of what can we change after
Yes.
this?
Listen, please. Hello? Let us listen because of the noise.
So for me and myself, we take small step. First, I think the easiest one will be like make dua, especially for the unbelievable. Okay, that's what we can do immediately. Okay, right after this, and to have that kind of what you say, the grief feelings. Okay, so that not just to make us understand better, and then when we make dua, we will really feel it. So it's like ikhlas from there, and it start with our family first.
Yes.
So from the family, from our children, the basic one. For me, I have small kids. Okay, so start with them, and hopefully they will. Okay, once they get older, they will spread those things to others.
جزاكم الله خير. Terima kasih. Jumpa lagi. Inshallah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.